Good morning and welcome to vlog 34. It's Friday the 14th of April. My name's Steve and I run superBRICKS, a Bricklink and Brick Owl Lego parts store. And I also run East Midlands Lego Hire, where you can hire out Lego sets for local collection. We're based in the East Midlands, obviously, in Loughborough. And it's also the home of BrickMetrics, an online pricing tool for your Bricklink store. Now, last week's vlogs has certainly caused a bit of a stir. Lots of really great comments coming through as a sort of reaction to my customer service woes from last week, mainly where I'm the customer. So lots of comments. Thank you very much for those. I will have a proper read through them at some point today and get responding to all of them. Now for this week, things might be a little bit different. It's half term, no, end of term for the kids, so they're both on holiday, and I think obviously we'll end up doing some stuff with them. It's also Easter next weekend, and to be honest, I don't really want to be doing a lot of work over Easter. I've got family visiting, and I know that Sunday's going to be a really busy and full-on day. So this week's vlog might actually be a 2-week vlog, and I'll probably upload the video in a couple of weeks' time. So don't worry if you think you've missed out. You haven't. So as per normal on a Monday, let's have a quick look at the figures. Okay, so let's get straight into the parts. We've got 451,000 parts in the store now. And at the end of last week's vlog, I mentioned that as part of the sort out we did in the conservatory, it made me see and realise how many boxes of really big bulky items that I had. So I tackled some of those, including those coral quarter tiles. I think there was about 40,000 of those. So that's why we've jumped so much in the last week. We're now, we're 56,000 parts up on last week. You know, but obviously 46,000 of them are tiles. So it's a great jump in terms of part numbers, but really it's a bit of a cheat, I suppose. They were just high quantity, but it doesn't matter. It all counts. It all adds up. We knew that there was 400,000 parts in the brick store file from Brick Arena, and now there's a lot less. So yeah, it's nice to get up there. It does move us quite comfortably onto page 1 now, in terms of the store lists. So that's good. Lots, sorry, we're at 14,500. Now that's an increase of 926. 900, wow. Now that's because we've been uploading stock from these. Let me zoom out a little bit. We've been doing these. Now lots of these contain minifigure accessories and lots of small parts, minifigure heads, as you can see. But lots and lots of stuff that I'd never had in the store before. They're all used, but they're fairly quite simple to process. I just have to check them, check the quality, check the quantity, make sure they're correct. And I've also been filling the individual compartments up a little bit more, so trying to condense them down. As I've said before, it's to get rid of this column here and get them all placed under there. So I think we've done 5 now. So that's the primary reason why the lot count has shot right up over 900, which is fantastic, because at 14,500 lots, I think we're well on the way to that 15,000 lot point. Still got a long way to go if I'm going to get right up there with the top stores in the UK, but it's a good jump. Okay, Feedback still 99.9, orders 9,444 and 175 fans. So we've had 45 Bricklink orders in the last week, which is slightly up on the week before. Feedback, our feedback score 5234, that's an increase of 23. So again, about half the orders, which is great. I just should point out actually our number of fans, 175, that's grown by a couple, so thank you very much if you've become a fan of the store. Now then, YouTube. We're at 748 subscribers, that's an increase of 7 over last week. We are in a race with the Brick Shed from Australia. I have a funny feeling that we won't be for very much longer. Noah's doing a fantastic job over there. If I just quickly jump to his channel, you'll see that his subscriber count is at 994. I've got a pretty confident feeling that he will reach that this week and the race will be over. So I'll say well done, Noah. Cracking job. Your videos are brilliant. They certainly have been improving, so you've done a great job, so well done. Obviously I'll keep an eye on your subscriber count, and if you do hit that 1,000 this week, I'll give you another mention. But for us, we're at 748. We are, obviously quite far behind and still a long way to go to that magic 1,000. If you don't already know, what happens when we hit 1,000 subscribers is that YouTube monetize your channel, and it means that we'll start to earn revenue from the ads that play during the vlogs. And for me, that's just sort of payback for the work, the time that we put into these videos. We don't make any money from any other part of YouTube. We don't have the member videos yet, unless you want me to do member only videos. I'm quite happy to discuss further detail maybe in a member only video. Let me know. Drop a comment below. Would you be happy to support the channel with some member only content? Great to know. But if you are watching the video and you haven't subscribed, please do. It would be nice to get to that 800 mark maybe in the next couple of weeks. That'd be fantastic. So I think that's it. That's a sort of roundup of where we are for the week. Let's go and have a look at the orders. To be honest, it's been, I'll just finish off the picking. There we go. It's not too bad. We've reached the target of £100. That's £50 for Saturday and Sunday. So I'm pleased about that. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've lost count already. 8, 9, 10, 11 orders. So just 11 orders, but some good value in a couple of them. I think there's probably about 3 or 4 orders here that are over £20. And then just some smaller orders. I think this order deserves a bit of a shout out. What have we got in here? We've got some minifigure accessories, a torso in there, and then we've got some bionicle pieces and some weaponry. And there was a fantastic comment that came in through this with this order. As you can see, I'm not very well prepared. Let me just hope I've not been logged out of Bricklink. I haven't. There we go. So thank you, Tom. I do appreciate your order, and I appreciate the comment that you left with the order itself. Tom's found us on YouTube and says he enjoys watching the weekly vlogs very much, and he tries to watch them in the background while I'm working. I think that's what we all do. I know I certainly do. It's nice to put just something on in the background. You can listen to it. So I listen to there's 3 guys over in Australia and New Zealand that I listen to. I mentioned them several times before. But yeah, I always listen, and when I hear something that I think, ooh, I could learn from that, that's when my ears prick up and I start to watch intently to see if I can learn something. So yeah, thank you very much for your order. We'll get that packed up now and off to the post office along with all the others. As per normal, let's get cracking. Good afternoon, and you can see here that I've been busy once again. This is another brick store file that I'm working on, and yeah, it's on my picking area, which means it's really important that I get this uploaded into the store. Now this has all come out of the other Rayco unit and half of this one. Now this type of Rayco unit I'm going to use over in that corner. Okay, and that's why I've chosen it, and it matches the 2 that I've already got in the corner over there. They just contain the sort of standard smaller drawers, and it'll just give me some extra capacity, which at the moment is much needed because I don't have any completely empty drawers. I've got quite a few part empty drawers, but even then I seem to be using them up quite quickly. There's a few more on this side that you can just see, just because the drawer has been partly pulled out. So that's been ongoing. You can see that my desk is still filled with the order from last week that we're having the problem with. I have contacted the seller again today, simply because I've had no response and still had no response, so that's still currently ongoing. In other news, I have done a BRICKS update, and I'll just quickly show you the new feature, which is this parts. So what I quickly realized after making the top 250 live is that from there you might want to look at all of the parts that we know about. For example, well, the one I've chosen actually is part 2431. Okay, so just a simple tile, one before, and I'm currently looking at my inventory, but now if I click on the item number, I can now see every single colour that we know of and all of the pricing information. And you can see on the right hand side there are some blank prices. That's because I don't have that part in stock, and since I don't have it in stock, I don't have a price. Simple as that. But we're now building up lots and lots of information for all of the different colours, and that's just because everyone is using the system. They're checking sets, downloading the inventories, checking the prices, things like that, and we're building up all of that information. And once we know about a part and its colour, it's really easy then to go off and check the sell-through rates and the current pricing and everything like that. So that's really handy if you're thinking, you know, I'm looking at a particular, a great example is actually tiles. We all know that tiles sell quite well, so it really helps see in a very quick sort of glance which colours you don't have in stock. You can see the sell-through rates, and it helps you then decide what parts should you be looking for and sourcing. So that's gone live today. There were some other couple of bug fixes and a couple of improvements I've made, so they've gone live, mainly affecting premium. But the other thing that I've switched on is PayPal. So you should now be able to choose PayPal as a payment option when you go through the sort of checkout process with Stripe. Hopefully it works. It just seemed to be a matter of switching it on and connecting it to my PayPal account, which seemed fairly straightforward. Unfortunately, this is one of those areas that's very difficult to test, but I'm sure if there's any problems, you'll reach out to me. Right, I'm hovering over the YouTube screen, Still at 748, it's not moved since this morning, but I don't really expect it to. I think most people view the vlogs in the evenings probably as they are picking, uploading, or doing whatever it is they do in their Bricklink store. Now you'll just notice there at the back is one of the sets from East Midlands Lego Hire that's been returned, and hiding behind the desk over there is a few more. So that's just another job that I've got to get done, get those sets checked and made available again on the Facebook group. So yeah, it's been a busy day. It's now, where are we? We've just gone 4 o'clock, I think. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, 4:15. But really my priority now is just to get this lot put away and then have a break to go and get something to eat with the family. Better get cracking. Good morning, it's Tuesday, and some of us, probably most of us, will have got this email overnight from Bricklink talking about an issue with PayPal. Now, most of you will be aware of the issue that we had some weeks ago where the payment status was set as paid with an exclamation mark, and the orders were showing up in Brick Freedom ready for picking, and if you weren't careful you could end up dispatching an order that hadn't actually been paid because the PayPal transaction hadn't gone through. Now, we've had this email, but it talks about paid pending. Now, what I thought I would just double check is, do they mean paid pending as in paid and the exclamation mark, or is paid pending a status that, well, for me, I've never seen before? So I thought I'd click on the help icon when you're looking at the orders to look at all the different order statuses, and there isn't a paid pending or a paid with an exclamation mark. There's no explanation at all. So one of two things has happened. Bricklink have finally acknowledged there's an issue with PayPal with the paid exclamation mark, and it's taken them well over a month, maybe even 2, to contact us and let us know, or this is a new, different issue that none of us have seen, or I've not seen any comments on Facebook just yet, but this could be a new issue. Maybe it's the old issue. I don't know. It is a bit confusing. If it's the old issue, I don't really know why it's taken Bricklink so long to tell us. Personally, I've not had the paid with the exclamation mark issue for quite a while. I actually thought they'd fixed it under the, undercover. So I don't really know, but you will have seen this, hopefully. So just as it says, just keep an eye out for your order statuses within Bricklink and make sure that they are just saying paid. And don't dispatch orders where it's either paid pending or paid with an exclamation mark. Okay, so yesterday evening, I was picking the orders, and guess what? Another inventory issue. I'm missing a dark grey 1x4 plate, just one. It's the only one I had, and I have been around the houses. I've double checked and checked and checked and checked, and I've hunted and hunted and hunted. I've been through boxes of older used Lego looking for a dark grey plate, and I just can't find one. So just on the back of last week's vlog about customer service, what should you do in this particular case? Well, it's my fault. It's my fault I don't have the piece. The customer's ordered it, so I've gone and ordered it from another seller, and I will make sure that the customer gets that piece that they ordered without incurring any additional costs from me. So the rest of the order is ready to go. We'll get that dispatched. I have contacted the customer and let them know and apologised, and told them that, I've told them the course of action I'm taking. I'm going to get them another part. So that's currently in hand. These are the orders from last night. 7 of them, order value just below the daily target of £50, but pretty close, so not too bad. We've got a Harry Potter minifigure in this one, just a minifigure hat in that one, and just a mixture of general parts. I think this one just had lots of single slopes in there. Interesting. I want to sold some bones. You can just see them in the bottom of that container. So yeah, happy with that. That's all good. So what's on today's agenda? Well, I've still got half a Roco unit over here that I can work on. This order is still here. I did contact the seller yesterday. I've had no further response. I think by lunchtime today, if I've not heard anything, I will escalate the PayPal case. Which I just didn't want to do any of this. I just wanted the seller just to respond, and we open some dialogue. We make an agreement, and we can both move on, and that's it. But it's just getting really drawn out now, and increasingly frustrating that I'm just not getting responses from the seller. So that's that. This side is looking a bit of a mess, but that's because I've been rooting through all of these containers yesterday looking for that plate, so I could do with a bit of sorting out there. Yeah, and I also want to do a little bit of work on a new project that's coming soon. We'll see. But anyway, another busy day ahead of us at superBRICKS. So my sort of lunchtime deadline has passed, and unfortunately I've still not heard back from the seller, so I have escalated it to a PayPal claim. We'll see what happens. Now then, apart from that, I've continued to work through these containers that were down in the bottom corner. So I've grabbed them all out. These have already been done. These are already listed and are in the store. So again, a really good increase to the lot count by adding those in. They contain all sorts of smaller parts, minifigures, accessories, you know, you sort of name it, and they're in there. Lots of variety. So I'm just currently working on this one over here. You can see I've still got some empty slots, and I'm creating the brick store file, and these containers are what's currently being made up. But I thought I would just film, because I'm doing the sort of dreaded 1x1 round tiles, and I came across this part. Excuse me. This is out of the Caterham 7, and according to Brick Store, is valued at £7.20, which is brilliant. And it feels like it's been a long time since I've had a good find in the stock. Now, this is not Brick Arena stock. This came from my own smaller containers, which were full of sort of, again, minifigure accessories. None of it's listed. There's a great big pile of them here and here. And once I've got those condensed down, they're going to fit nicely in this corner as well. So a really good find. I've added that to the file, and hopefully today we'll get it uploaded. But we'll see, because time is getting on. Now, something we found in the Brick Arena stock was lots of these plastic cups, and we've been using these during part outs and when I've been adding stock to the superBRICKS store. It just sort of helps keep everything nice and separate when we're creating the brick store files. Now, we found quite a lot of these, and I believe Charlie has been building with them.
So I made a giant tower made out of Dad's Lego cups, and I'm going to knock it down. 3, 2, 1. Oh.
Oh my word.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Good morning, and here we go. We've got all the orders ready for packing, including the dark grey 1 before plate that I was short on a couple of days ago. I managed to get this ordered from another Bricklink seller, and I decided to have it shipped directly to me so that I can then ship it on to the customer. And the simple reason for that is I bought a load of other parts that I needed for the store, so it made sense just to have it included in that. So that'll go out today to the customer. The customer did respond to my message. There's no rush for the part, so all's good. And like we touched on last week about the customer service side, the inventory error is my issue, so it's only fair that I rectify that for the customer and they don't incur any additional expenses. So they're happy, I'm happy, all is good. That'll go out today, and the customer should get that in the next couple of days. Now, yesterday I worked on the Rayco unit that was here, and I managed to get that emptied and added to the store, and it's now positioned over on the right hand side of the office. Now I just need to find a second 60 drawer Rayco unit to sit on top so that it matches the left hand side of the office. And I was having a look through all of the units I've got in the conservatory, and the majority of them are the slightly different ones. They're the ones that have got the drawers in at the bottom, the larger drawers at the bottom. But I did find some of them, but they're black, and I think they're part of a kind of vertical stand. I think Keith mentioned it in a vlog a long time ago. It's got a really strong, sturdy base that rotates, and I think the idea is that you mount. I think it's going to be 12 of the 60 drawer units. You mount them on it and you build it up into a sort of tower. And I think I've found the 12 of those. And I don't really want to use one of them in this area here, because my plan is to sell that unit as a whole unit once I've emptied out the others. So I'm a bit stuck. I could just put a normal one on top, or I might buy another one. But just looking at the prices, they're ridiculously expensive. So I might just have to bite the bullet and have it slightly different to this side, which is just a bit annoying, really. But I've still got time to make a decision on that. But in a similar way to this side, in that I can't use the bottom 2 rows of drawers simply because of the weighing scales. I've got a similar issue over here, where I can't use maybe the bottom 3, maybe even the 4th one down, because of the printer. So I'm thinking about redesigning this area here, and maybe building a kind of pull in, push out, pull in, whatever, a wooden set of drawer type things where I can put the printers, and it would be the barcode printer over there, and label printer. I've got a colour laserjet printer there, you can just see the bottom of it, and the black and white laser printer, and sort of mounting them, all 3 of them, in that area there, keeping them out of the way. I'm thinking about moving the scales over onto the corner of my picking desk, and then sorting out some sort of power arrangement. I've got a couple of plugs that are down here, you can just about see them there in the corner, and I'm thinking if I run an extension lead around and then up around here and up the side, I might just be able to produce give power to that sort of area, that would help with the laptop. I can plug in the scales, and that really clears up my entire desk. In fact, the only thing I'd be left with is probably the barcode scanner. Yeah, the barcode scanner, and that, I think that might make a massive difference. And it also means that if I've got more space, I can probably fit more pots on there as I'm doing part outs and adding more stock. So it might really help, but it's going to take a bit of time to build that unit down there, to get it to the right size, to make sure it fits, and make sure my idea works. But that could be something I could do. Food for thought. Right. Well, as you can still see on my desk, this order is still here. I think I said yesterday or the day before, I've escalated it to PayPal. It's now a claim. And I've still heard nothing back from the seller, which, like I've said before, was the most disappointing part. I just don't really know why the seller just doesn't respond, and we just agree something and work it out. It's simple as that. But hey ho, they're not responding, so I've had to escalate. What else did I do yesterday? Well, I've been playing around with BRICKS, and I've just mocked up this is the new, or could be the new information display at the top of the page. I'm adding new functionality in there, and adding, excuse me, adding more buttons, and it's getting a bit crowded. It doesn't look right. I'm not making efficient use of the space. And like I said, when I originally did it, it worked fine for me, but I think now it really just needs a little bit of a revamp and sort of modernizing, and looking well set out and cleaner and easier to use. So that's what I've mocked up. I've put it on the Discord channel. Positive feedback so far, which is great. I'll leave it there for another couple of days, and then maybe next week I'll actually start coding that on the site. There's also a couple of new bits of functionality being added at the same time, which is all great. So we are very close to Easter now. It is Thursday. I've still got some more customers coming for East Midlands Lego hire, which is fantastic. I think lots of people now deciding to add or have a set over the Easter period. Keeps the kids busy and occupied and off the screens, which is always a good thing. So that's really good. So I'm busy with that. I've got some more sets to prepare today. So there you go. Again, another busy day. I'm definitely taking the day off tomorrow, and probably Saturday and Sunday, and I'll be back on it on Monday. But like I said at the beginning of the vlog, although I won't be recording anything, the vlog will continue into next week, and it'll probably be next Sunday that this comes out, which is probably too late for everybody, because now you've just found out that I'm not doing the vlog on Sunday. Anyway, I will crack on. Good morning. Welcome to Monday. It is Bank Holiday Monday, just after Easter, and we are continuing the vlog from last week. So let's have a quick look at the store, because there's been a bit of a change. We're now up to 489,000 items in the store, which is an increase of 37,000. Now, that's been helped by simply uploading a lot of the parts that Keith had in bulk, predominantly the good old Lego axe. Now, let me see. I'm sure one of these boxes had it taped to the outside, but I think you all know what an axe looks like. There we go. I found it. There we go. Now, there was 2 boxes of these, like I say, approximately 40,000, which I have counted out into bags, I think of 2,000, and uploaded and stored away, but also tackled another load of bulk. Here's just one of the boxes that's half full, but these have been counted out into 200s. Just cleared a bit of space out of the conservatory, because obviously with it being Easter and family over, I needed to extend the table, which meant sort of moving a few bits, and we just wanted to neaten it up a little bit. So these were sort of quick wins. It was just a matter of counting them, checking them, and getting them uploaded. And now once I fill that box up, I can go upstairs into the loft area. So that's the main reason for the item count suddenly increasing this past week. It does feel like it's a bit of a cheat, but at the end of the day, they're in the Brick Arena file, and they need to be added to the store. We did hit 15,000 lots. Now, I didn't record it because it was like we got to 15,002, but I knew straight away that wasn't going to last, and it certainly didn't. We've had a really good, strong weekend with sales, and the lot count's taken a bit of a hit. So it's now 14,878. Now that still is 300 up on last week, and that's just been helped again by the uploading of the used parts out of there, which I think I've already mentioned previously. So that's all good. Feedback, 99.9%. I should go over here really for feedback, shouldn't I? 5254. That's an increase of 20 of last week, all positive. The orders is 9,491, which means we've had 47 orders in the past 7 days, which is great, slightly up on last week. Revenue is still good. Targets have been met, so I'm really happy with that. Number of fans, 178. That has increased. 3 fans we've had in the last week, which is brilliant. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. YouTube, well, it's been a bit slow. We're at 754, so it is creeping up, but very slowly. And I suppose at this point I should say well done to Noah from the Brick Shed over in Australia. He's hit his 1,000 subscribers. I haven't yet seen his latest vlog. I don't know if he's announced it in his latest one. I'm a little bit behind on the vlogs at the moment, but when I checked back end of last week, he had definitely reached it. So congratulations, you've won the race. And I wonder now if you're shaving your head. We'll have to see. But no, seriously, well done, mate. You've got a great channel there. And it's really great to see you hitting that 1,000 mark. Okay, so like I said, I've got all the orders. All the orders are all packed for the weekend. They're all in these 2 bags here. There's 16, I think, going out today. We had 18 going out on Saturday. Like I said, it's been an absolutely brilliant weekend. But even though it was Easter for us, and to be honest, I did take a bit of downtime these last few days to spend some time with the family. The only thing I was doing was picking. So it's been really, really good. So that's an update on the last, 5 days since I last videoed, I think it is. Something like that. It feels like that. It's probably not right, but hey ho. We've done a bit of bulk uploading. We've done lots of orders. So today, it's Bank Holiday Monday. The kids are still off school, obviously. So we'll have to go and see what we can do with them. I do have some work to do on East Midlands Lego Hire, actually. So I've had some sets come back over the weekend, and I think I'm going to have some sets going out tonight, which I need to organise. So that's actually my next job, as well as the post office. And then we'll see what happens next. There's still no update on the order that we've got the problem with. That's still sat there. And I know that there's maybe just one issue I need to deal with BrickMetrics. But on the subject of BrickMetrics, I got some absolutely amazing feedback over the weekend, and you know, it was really, really good. It sort of made my weekend absolutely fantastic. So thank you, Jason. I might add it to the website if he lets me. But a really, really good bit of feedback to receive. Yeah, his sales have gone, in his words, ballistic, which is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So he's using the premium version, It's £19.99 a month in UK pounds, and he's got access to the top 250 parts with the highest sell-through rate. And I think obviously he's focusing on purchasing those parts and having them available in his store. And you know, in his words, his sales have gone ballistic, which is brilliant. Right, I've rambled enough. I'm going to crack on with the day. So, I'll see you in a bit. Good morning and welcome to another beautiful start to the day. Nice and sunny out there. Better than the weather yesterday. As you can tell by my voice, I'm still feeling a little bit under the weather, but starting to feel better than I have been, which is great. So yesterday we did a bit of sorting out in the conservatory, moved some bits around and made a decision to start on these. Now these mainly contain used stock and as you can see possibly over by the used wall, let me come around here actually, there's quite a few drawers sort of sticking out, so a little bit of room over on this side, plus we've got capacity down in the really useful drawers at the bottom there. There's lots of room down there, so we made the decision to sort of pause on the new, start on the used again, and go through these. So I've already done those 12. We managed to get those done yesterday. It is slower going because each part needs checking, obviously for quality because they are used, and then adding to a brick store file and then finally uploaded. So there's plenty to go at, and again it does mean that we clear quite a bit of bulky stuff out the conservatory, because once these are emptied, I'll package them back up in one of the boxes and they'll go off down to the storage unit. So that was yesterday afternoon and I will continue that today. Bit of an update on the order on the desk. I checked the seller's feedback yesterday and another buyer has left them negative feedback with exactly the same issue that I've got. So obviously they're not responding to anybody or dealing with anyone else's issues, so I just need to wait for the PayPal claim to complete and then we'll get that order off the desk and sorted out. So just a few more days to wait on that one. Right, that's about it. I just need to get the orders packed up and out, which are already picked and sitting on the desk. Just 6 this morning, so we'll get on with that and see what else we can get on with. Hey everyone, just a quick update on what I've been doing today. So I've been working my way through the rest of these storage drawers, and to be quite honest, it's been a bit of a long sort of drag because most of the parts in there were stickered parts and the drawers were quite full, so there were quite a lot to go through and double check and note, you know, anything with the sticker condition, if they're straight or not, on all that kind of stuff. So it's been quite a slog, to be quite honest, but I've managed to get through some more of them. And as I was sat here, I started thinking about how I'm going to redesign this area over here. So like I've said before, I can't actually get to the bottom two sets of drawers because of the scales. So my plan is to move the scales over here, right in the corner of the picking table, which means I need power. Now down in the far corner I've got a double plug socket on the wall, and I've just purchased an extension lead off Amazon that I'm going to run around the corner underneath this worktop here, and I will present the extension lead sort of down there underneath. It means I can power the laptop by just moving the plug and dropping it down the side here. There's enough room for it to drop down to the floor with no problem. And also I can then power up the scales. So that's going to clear up that corner there. But on this side, I've got exactly the same issue, but obviously I've got the printer in the way, so I need to move this printer. So the idea now is that this printer will sit underneath here next to the colour printer. So I've just did a very quick sketch of how the drawer or how the sort of shelving unit is going to look. And I'm just looking on B&Q for some MDF. I'll probably make it from that. It's cheap and cheerful. So I'll build a kind of unit down here that I can house both the printers on. But that left me then with the barcode printer and my label printer. So what I thought was, just for space, that can actually fit just down here where I've got the envelopes just on the end. I can run network to it, no problem, because my network point is actually underneath here in the corner. So that's just a matter of running a network lead. Instead of coming this way up to the printer, it'll just go along the back and then up the middle bit again and straight into the back of the printer. So a 4-way extension will do the job of providing power to the printer, the laptop and the scales. So that all looks good. That's all coming together. I'll probably go to B&Q probably next week because I've just got to think about when I'm actually going to cut all the wood up and everything. And this weekend I'm visiting family, so I won't be around. But while I was sort of sat here and designing this and I was in that kind of frame of mind, I had a bit of an idea, because there's always been a gap. Now that I've actually moved these two sets of drawers over to the right, the gap was over here on the right hand side. But by doing that, I don't know if you can just see, I've managed to fit in one of these drawers, all right, just down there, because these drawers here are all used for the used bulk, and you can see my categories, you know, panels, arches, wheels, etc. And when I'm sorting out the bulk, I normally put a box on here, I open up these drawers and I start to sort. And Keith used some of these drawers. I've got a couple of them here, and as you can see, they've got this sort of 2x2 plate. Now that's cut from a strip. It's not official Lego, but it sticks to the front of the drawer, and he used that when he was sorting out the bulk. So in this particular drawer, and I've just dropped it, is one of these, and I think what he did was he stuck them to the front of the drawer excuse me, so you can see what's in the drawer. Now I've got a whole load of those, but I thought they would fit quite nicely there, and I can have a full stack of drawers going all the way up, probably as high as this set of drawers. And that again means I can move a load more stuff out of the conservatory, and I can utilise that space, and I can also then adopt the similar system. So they contain lots of small parts, and a lot of them are all quite full. Keith had already pre-sorted loads of them, so I'm already sort of a step ahead, because when I get to sort the bulk, I've now got an extra load of containers I can use to sort further, and when they're full I can just add them straight into the store. So that'll work out quite well, I think. And again, it's just another bit more of the space I'm using up, because this room, it's not the biggest room ever, and so space is an absolute premium, and I've got to make the best use of all of it. But the thing I'm looking forward to the most is, obviously, if this printer goes, that printer goes, the counting scale goes, I'm only going to be left with the barcode scanner, and I think I've got a charging block down here in the fan. But it means that the rest of the desk will eventually be clear. And that's what I'm really looking forward to, because to be quite honest, it really does bug me working with such a mess around. And I know you're probably all thinking, well, just tidy it up then, Steve, just get it all sorted out. Yeah, I really wish I could, and I will. Eventually I will. As soon as that order's been dealt with, that will get moved away, and it will free me up to get into all of this other extra pieces over there that are coming from just sorting. You know, every now and again you find a piece in the stock that's not listed. I just put it to one side, and I think to myself, yep, I'll list that a bit later on. So there's quite a bit of stuff there that just needs a brick store file creating and you know, getting into the store. So that's where I am. That's what I've been up to. I think we've added well over 100 lots to the store this morning. We're currently sitting at just over 15,000, but we're literally just over. So, you know, the next order will just take it straight back down below 15,000. So, you know, really I need to get it to about 15,300 maybe, and then I'll feel comfortable sort of saying, yay, we've done it. But at the moment it's going to be, you know, going up and down around that figure, which is all great. So we've still got a little bit of time left in the day. The sun is still shining. It's really nice outside. I do fancy sitting in the garden for a bit, but I mean, it is sort of holidays, I suppose, so maybe I can get away with it, but I very much doubt it. There's still so much more work to do. I best get cracking. Good afternoon, it's Wednesday, and it's been another busy morning here at superBRICKS. I've got 3 sets ready to go out this afternoon for East Midlands Lego hire. We've got 10257 Carousel, 42141 the McLaren F1 race car, and 10350 Tudor Corner. So they're being picked up shortly, and the customer is bringing back some other sets. So it's always great to get sets going out with East Midlands Lego hire and meet the customers. So looking forward to that. We've continued work on these drawers, more stickered parts, and really I do understand why Bricklink sellers tend not to list stickered parts. They are such a nightmare, I have to say. I mean, it's great for increasing your lot count, but the condition is so subjective, and it's really difficult. But we soldier on. This is the brick store file as it is. It doesn't look like there's a lot there, does it? But it's taken a good few hours, and I'm really questioning, you know, is it really worth it? But you know, if it's all about lot count, it does matter. There's also a smattering of minifigure parts in here as well, because I've emptied out another one of these. Now I do have enough, I think. I've got 14 that will fit underneath here, but by sort of emptying them out, I get to condense everything down, and obviously find other places to put the parts. So I've now got 2 empty containers, which means that when I really do start on my stock and all of the other minifigure accessories and parts, I've got plenty of place to put them. So that's the main thing. I started making a tower for the bulk sorting. They've all got, well, they're all missing the sort of identifier on the front. I haven't put those on just yet because I'm not at the moment convinced of the order. I've just sort of stacked them up. I'll probably look at that the next time I start to sort some bulk, which at the moment, who knows when that will happen. But it's good to get some stuff out of the conservatory. It always feels good, because it means you're making progress. in emptying out the conservatory, which will always keep the missus happy. I've also managed to bring through these 3 drawers here. Now, I have spoken about these before. This is one out of 3 drawers that fell on the floor when we did the move from Brick Arena. If you remember, they were stored in a white plastic box just on the top here for quite some time, and I said that they all needed going through and washing because there was all sorts of bits and pieces included within the Lego when we put it all back. So that's been done now. They've all been washed and they've all been sorted now out into category, type, whatever. So they were new, they're now all used, and that's all now ready to be added to the store. So when I feel like it, I will start working my way through them. But that one's got slightly less in it. There was quite a bit of variety in the 3 drawers in terms of sort of colours and everything, but lots of 1x4 bricks, 2x2 plates, and some other bits. And that's been about it, I think. That brick store file, just looking at the figures on it, 226 lots, and that's just about the only thing that feels good about that. 200 lots. It'd be great to get those uploaded, which I think is going to be my next task. Still no more word on that order, but I am looking forward to clearing it. So, as per normal, let's get cracking. Good morning, it's Thursday, and I've just got a set ready to go out for East Midlands Lego hire. This is 76419 Hogwarts Castle and Grounds. Now this is part of our Pocket Money Plus range, which costs £15 for 2 weeks hire. And the difference between this and our normal sets is there's no reverse bagging. So effectively the set comes in 1, maybe 2 bags. It's all mixed together, and it's aimed at customers that just simply want to do the build in one go and then just break it apart in one go. No need to worry about the bags or anything like that. We only do this on the smaller sets, normally with an RRP lower than £150. In fact, the Pocket Money Plus range is £100 to £150 RRP. The standard Pocket Money range is lower than £100 RRP. So aimed at mainly children, to be quite honest. So they don't have the stress or the pressure of having to do that reverse build. So this is a new customer that's coming today to pick this up. So it'd be really great to meet them. And that will be going out shortly. Now I've done all the orders already. It was a bit of a quiet night last night. There was only 6 orders. And the order value wasn't too brilliant. So a little bit behind. But just move my chair out of the way. I was quite excited this morning because after yesterday's sort of upload of all those stickered parts and focusing on lots, I think it was probably about 250 lots, I think it was, we uploaded. Looking at the lot count this morning in the store, we're now at 15,200. So I think it's safe to say we've hit the 15,000 mark. So really happy with that, really pleased. And then I noticed the item count. We're up to 492,000. So I sort of set myself a little challenge. I'm away this weekend, so I've literally got the rest of today and then tomorrow to see if we can get to the 500,000 items count, and that would be fantastic. So how are we going to do it? Well, I mentioned earlier that I'd brought 3 trays through, 3 storage drawers through, that contained all of that it was new Lego, but when it fell out of the back of the lorry, it became used. So I'm working my way through that, and I'm just building up the brick store file now, and I'm currently sitting at 2,777 items, and there they all are. So I've still got quite a bit of time. I will plod on through the rest of these 3 drawers and see what we get to. I've still got plenty to choose from. This is just going to be a time thing, I think. So depending on how much time I can dedicate to this upload, we'll see if we can get to that 500,000 item count. I do have another sort of job booked in at about 11 o'clock this morning for something a bit different, and unfortunately I've no idea at this moment how long that's going to take. It could take an hour, but it could take 4, and we won't know till we actually start doing the job. But that's something slightly different, some other paid work that I've got on. So I'm going to push on with these parts, see if we can get them 3 drawers emptied and see where that gets us. And like I said, I've always got tomorrow morning, although tomorrow morning I've got to produce the vlog, so that's going to take a bit of time, so I might not be able to record it if I do get to the 500,000, and maybe it'll be next week's vlog, but we'll see how we get on. Let's get cracking. Good morning, it's Friday, and in the last segment, or the one before it, I can't remember now, I set myself a little challenge of getting to 500,000 parts, and I'm really pleased to share that we made it. It was a little bit higher yesterday, about 504,000, but lot count was a bit higher, and that's because overnight we've had some really good orders. So late yesterday afternoon I picked 4 orders that I had in already, which are here. 2 of them you can see are quite large just by the sheer number of trays I've had to use. And last night I found myself with a little bit of free time, so I had a bit of a play around with the BRICKS API, and I just knocked this up, just a very quick summary chart, and these are orders that are in the paid status. So these orders haven't been picked, but are ready to be picked. The total figure is excluding postage. So I thought I would use this as a good starting point to not include postage in the daily figures. So of course I've been looking at £50 including postage, just the total, as my target, and I talked about trying to increase that to £100. When I was doing this, when I was designing it, I could see in the data that you can exclude postage, so I thought, well, I might as well try and do that, and then I'll readjust my daily target once I've got used to this and I've got it incorporated into BRICKS. So at the moment it's just standalone, and of course I've now played around with the BRICKS API, and that's given me another bunch of ideas for things to improve upon within BRICKS. So yeah, I thought that was a couple of hours well spent, and I might add that into the welcome screen. If anyone else has got any suggestions on where you'd like to see that in BRICKS, let me know. Please don't chase me for it just yet, because it's not ready, because you've got to add your BRICKS API key, so that's a whole separate thing that we've got to do. Okay, so as you can see, I've got 6 orders to pick with 146 lots, so that's going to keep me busy for about the next hour or so. Not much else to report on yesterday. Obviously it was just uploading. I did do that other job that I talked about, but it was actually very short because we had to sort of cancel it halfway through. And I think that's it. Right, I best get cracking, and I'll show you what these orders are like when they're finished. So that's all the orders picked, and I just refreshed my little screen and all nicely showing zeros. So that's working well. Pleased about that. That's good. Right, a quick look at the orders. I know I've not done this for a while, but wow, there's a lot. Things of interest, well, stickered parts. There's been quite a few parts in there that contain stickers, which is good because of all the effort that went into getting them listed. Particularly this one, the Scooby-Doo mystery machine. Looks like someone's bought all of those, which is great, and some minifigures. Got a set of instructions going out on this order. Don't know if you can see that with the light shining off it. Set number 6874, an original Legoland space themed vehicle. And then staying on the same theme, this order, customers bought one of these base plates. That takes me back to my childhood, along with a video minifigure and then a whole host of other parts. And that's pretty much the same with everything else, just a whole mixture. So really good sized orders, really good value. It's a really nice sort of end to the week. It's been a bit of a hard slog this week, lots of listing and sort of catching up from the Easter break. So I'm going to get these orders picked on off to the post office, and then I might just check up on the situation with PayPal and the order that's sitting on my desk, and we'll see where that's up to. Okay, that's all the orders all packed up. I had to use one of these Amazon boxes for the space base plate. The customer had ordered lots of other parts as well, so it made sense to put it in that box rather than my normal sort of folded homemade boxes, I should say. But that's all done, so that's all ready to go to the post office. I've had a quick look at the PayPal case, and although it said they expected the next phase to move on today, what they meant was 11:59 and 59 seconds tonight is when the next stage happens. So that's a bit disappointing, because I was expecting something to happen during today and I could start then removing this off my desk. But it looks like it's going to be, later on tonight. I'm away for the weekend and I leave this afternoon. So this is going to stay here now over the weekend, and maybe on Monday I'll be able to have a look at removing it all. But we'll see, because I had plans for the next couple of weeks on another project that was going to take up quite a lot of my time. But we'll have to see how it all pans out now. So that's throwing a bit of a spanner in the works, to be quite honest. Anyway, this is the end of the vlog. It's been 2 weeks since I uploaded, so thank you very much for bearing with me. We did have a little bit of a break over the Easter period, but in the last couple of weeks we've achieved that milestone of 500,000 parts, 15,000 lots, which feels great. So I'm really happy about that. Thank you to everyone who supported me and bought something from the store or subscribed to the channel. It really does mean a lot. So yeah, I'll get off to the post office now and maybe do a few other little jobs before I finish this afternoon. So if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you all on the next vlog. Bye for now.